What up, Lucid Crew? Welcome back to the channel. I am Lucid Rob, and I am here to Lucid Rob. I'm Lucid Rob, and today we're gonna watch videos from all over the internet talking about things that we shouldn't be talking about, learning shit that we shouldn't be learning about, and probably just getting the attention of people that we shouldn't be getting the attention of because we're trying to dig deep and get to the bottom of conspiracies that have been spending years and years and millions of dollars to cover up so we didn't know the truth. You know what? That's the name of the game, guys. We're conspiracy realists, right? We gotta get down to the bottom of the shit. It's not a theory to us. It's just a journey to find the truth.
The population on the moon is about 2 billion people. They're people just like us. It's just fantastic the stuff they got up there. The Greys, there's millions of those little guys up there. They do all their scientific stuff under the surface of the moon. The moon is a really, really busy place. Somebody's got to tell the truth. You're not going to believe this, but this is what's going on.
I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again. I am a big-time believer in the hollow moon theory. I think that it's a big artificial structure that was brought here at one point that was created by some advanced civilization. So it wouldn't surprise me that this was real. Also, I just want to say I have people doing construction outside again. I can't do anything about it. This happens once in a while. They're doing shit. They're doing shit outside. No control over it. So if you hear grinding and sawing and stuff like that, it's not an alien invasion. It's not the FBI guys trying to get into my fucking fort here. It's just people building a house next to me. Fingers crossed, that's all it is. But when he said people living on the moon were like us, was he talking about just like the civilization? Or they said there's millions of Greys living on the moon. Are there also humans up there? Because I think that Apollo mission did go to the moon. I think they just can't talk about what they saw there. I know a lot of people think that the moon landing was fake. I think the footage was fake. I think the moon landing footage more than likely was very fake. But I do think that we went there and the footage is just very different from the actual footage, if any, that was taken when we were actually on the moon. So I'm kind of on board with this one. What do you think?
Have you heard of the hollow earth theory before? What if it wasn't just a theory? Some claim that an ancient advanced civilization lives beneath the ground, with elites secretly aware of it. Allegedly, these elites, including politicians and scientists, conduct covert expeditions to access underground cities. Supposedly, these hidden discoveries include advanced technology and energy sources that they withhold from the public to maintain control. While mainstream scientists discredit these notions, believers see anomalies in some satellite images, and some of the pictures that shows a giant hole in the ice and historical records as proof of a vast hidden civilization. And what supports this theory is that in 2017, German geologist and his team collected core samples from deep within the frozen Antarctic seafloor, and what they discovered was astonishing. They saw more than 60 different taxa of plants, similar to something that you would find in a rainforest, in a temperature regime that was similar to what we today know from northern Italy. However, these theories remain unproven, with clear evidence confirming their validity or not. Because until today, there is no clear explanation. What do you think?
So like with hollow moon theory, I like the idea of a hollow earth theory. Let's just assume the earth is not hollow for a second. I think that the reason for all those different plant samples and whatnot that they took from drilling through the floor in Antarctica could be from, you know, the pole shifting. Because I know that the Sahara used to be plush. It used to be like a rainforest as well at one point. But now it's all just fucking like desolate desert and stuff. So I think at some point there were different parts of the world had different climates. I'm pretty sure this is documented as being true as well. But I think that at some point, you know, Antarctica could have been just maybe like South America or something, just very like vibrant with plants and whatnot. And I think it could have been several fucking thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, because I think that there have been multiple life cycles on Earth, different civilizations, different species. And then a cataclysmic event happens and we kind of start all over, right? Like, I don't know how long the Earth has been here. I know that, you know, modern science has an idea of how long Earth has been here based off of testing, carbon dating, and all kinds of shit like that. But I don't think anyone truly knows for sure. So I think that it's within the realm of possibility that it's been here millions and millions and millions of years, like even more than what we already think it has been. And there could have been thriving communities of human-like creatures or just other like living intelligent beings that had civilizations on, let's say, Antarctica when it was maybe on a different axis way back fucking whatever, full of trees and all kinds of shit. And then something happened, the poles shifted as they do. Now it's just fucking ice. So all of that was completely just covered up. Because from what I understand, the thing that makes it so hard to find civilization at a point in time is because through all of the years that the Earth has been here, there's very thin layers of of different time periods, different minerals, and whatnot. And then within that, let's say you have a fucking sandbox and it's just like tons of different layers, right? Hundreds or even thousands of layers of different material, different rocks, different minerals, whatnot. Not only do you have to find the haystack in the correct layer, but also in the correct point in this massive fucking sandbox, right? So it's always just a shot in the dark that we dig in the right place at the right depth to find some sort of evidence of life from that time period. With the ocean being so vast, and I think there's a good chance that at some point in some places in the bottom of the ocean, if the world was shifted on a different axis, that could have been land. That could have been a landmass that had, civilization living on it and thriving communities and stuff. So I think that there's some places right now, at least during our generation, with the way that our world is laid out right now, we're never going to find a lot of this evidence. Because even with the way it is right now, in the places that we can dig and the place that we can find things, like I said, it's literally a needle in a fucking incredibly deep, incredibly large fucking sandbox trying to find any sort of ancient evidence of civilizations. But let me know what you think. That's me going down a little just trailing off there. Welcome to my channel.
I'm overworking. You're missing the point of my intentions. My words are slurring. I'm addicted to you and everything that we do. I don't wanna feel you now, but I'm starting to figure out. Feeling like a countdown. Break my heart again, don't you start again. Yeah, I know that you know that we're more than friends. I'm overworking.
So I don't think any of those X-ray images were real. Am I right? Am I wrong about that? I think those are just what ifs. I'm assuming. But as far as the nail melting on the rock, I feel like I heard something about a special kind of stone. It was just like melting steel or melting some type of metal on top of it. And like the guy was holding the rock. So it's like, I feel like I've heard something about this. What is this? And it's driving me crazy now that I saw this video because I can't think of it.
Proof that Jesus lived. On January 6, 1982, a man by the name of Ron Wyatt reported that he had found the Ark of the Covenant located 20 feet below Christ's crucifixion site. However, that wasn't the only thing he found that day. Well, you see, Wyatt discovered that the lid of the box containing the Ark had split in two, and a dark, dry substance had spilled into it. Thinking nothing of it, he brought a sample back to a lab in Israel, and later realized what he had found was actually blood, but not just any normal blood. Blood with only 24 chromosomes. Chromosomes coming from the maternal parent, meaning that the blood came from someone who was born with only a mother and no father. Curious, he put the blood in a growth medium and realized that the blood was still alive. Anxious to find out more, he returned to the discovery site and realized that the substance actually trickled down from where the cross stood, through the rocks and onto the Ark of the Covenant, leading many to think it was the blood of Jesus, and this substance is...
I don't know about that. Maybe. Could have been true. Possibly. Be cool if it was. So I know there's a lot of debate about if like Jesus actually existed. At least I think there still is. I think like the Shroud of Turin, it had come out as being a fraud or not belonging to Jesus. I don't know how anybody could fucking know that if it happened that long ago. I don't think there are fucking dental records of Jesus. But as far as the Ark of the Covenant, man, I've seen so many videos. There's so many people that think of so many different places. I know one thinks it's like being guarded by a small village, I think somewhere in Africa. I think another one, it's like under the Sphinx in Egypt. There's so many. Like the Knights Templar have it under the Louvre, like in fucking, or that was in Da Vinci Code. I don't think that was actually a real one. Regardless, nobody knows where the fuck it is. Nobody even knows what it is, because I know there are theories that it was like a nuclear weapon as well, like an ancient nuclear weapon that was granted to an ancient civilization by an advanced civilization. So I know like only like, if I remember correctly, especially qualified people were able to handle it because they would basically get what was described as like radiation poisoning and radiation burns. There's another one, like another theory that the Ark of the Covenant is like an algae machine. Like they survived walking through the desert for so long with the Ark of the Covenant because it was basically like aquaponics or a hydroponic machine that created algae that they were able to eat to sustain themselves walking in the desert. Like there's so many different theories that just I've heard, and there's so many more beyond just what I've just off the top of my mind rambled on about here. So I have no idea what the Ark of the Covenant is. I have no idea where the location is. I don't know what it was used for, or even if it's real. So let me know what you think about this. Where do you think the Ark of the Covenant is? What do you think it does? What do you think its purpose is? How do you think we got it? Let me know.
If you look at the Great Pyramid of Giza, the location it is on the Earth is the same number of the speed of light. These people were smarter than we are. We think we're so advanced with iPhones and stuff, but I think we're pretty dumb, actually. It's built to be an exact replica of half the hemisphere of the entire planet, like a half ratio of the entire Earth. Perfect.
On a triangular
Yes.
basis without the circumference.
Yes, it's perfectly mathematically tuned to perfection. It means that they knew the exact ratios and size of the entire planet. We're talking about people that literally knew not only the circumference of the Earth, but the distance between the sun and the moon.
These things happened. Alex and Donna Voutsinas were looking through their old photos to put in their wedding video. They found one where Donna was a kid in 1980 visiting Disney World. They looked closer at the photo. In the background was Donna's husband Alex as a child being pushed in a stroller. The odds of getting hit by a meteor are 1 in a trillion. When a meteor crashed into a home in Paris in 2011, the press rushed over to check on them. They were fine. Their name was Comet. World War I broke out after Archduke Ferdinand was assassinated in his car. The license plate of the car was A111118. World War I started on November 11th, 1918. This one's nuts. In 1975, a 17-year-old boy was killed riding a moped. Exactly 1 year after that, his 17-year-old brother was killed on the same moped, in the same intersection, and hit by the same taxi, driven by the same taxi driver. They were also carrying the same passenger. These things happened. 21,000 people worked on the Hoover Dam. 96 of them were killed. The first was J.G. Tierney, who drowned. The last person killed was Tierney's son, Patrick, who died 14 years later, both on the same day, December 20th. Violet Jessup was nicknamed Miss Unsinkable. She worked on the Titanic, which sunk in 1912. She worked on the Britannic, which sunk in 1916. And she worked on the Olympic, which crashed. All 3 ships were from the White Star Line. The Civil War broke out in 1861 on a farm owned by Wilmer McLean. After the battle, McLean moved his family away for safety. 4 years later, Robert E. Lee surrendered to General Grant at Appomattox Courthouse. The generals then signed the documents in the parlor of the closest house, owned by the same Wilmer McLean. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, founding fathers. At first friends, then bitter rivals, and then friends again. They both died a few hours apart in 1826, on the 4th of July, the 50th anniversary of American independence.
Man, you gotta love the Y-Files. They're a big reason for me doing these videos right now. I mean, I was like always into conspiracies and things like that, but when I started watching the Y-Files consistently like a year ago, it just really motivated me to look deeper into things and kind of made me want to do these kinds of videos. So if you have not watched the Y-Files, I mean, it's wild to me if you're watching this video of me right now and you haven't watched the Y-Files yet, but it's my favorite YouTube channel. So if you haven't watched the Y-Files, I'm giving them a plug right now. Obviously, AJ and the people over there didn't ask me to do this, but I fucking love that channel so much. I will promote them all day.
The very top of the first structure that we entered, there was almost 18 feet poking from the ice. The rest of it was hidden under the ice. Each door was the same, anywhere from 18 feet thick to around 30 feet thick. And even though these doors were that thick and that heavy, you could take one finger and push them and they would open. There was no resistance whatsoever. The outside temperature was at least 40 degrees below zero. Once you stepped inside these structures, the temperature was an ambient 68 to 72 degrees.
What about the ceilings, hallways, floors?
It was lighted from the inside, but we could not find the source of light. It was a lime green in color. The walls were lined with what I call hieroglyphics, but nothing of hieroglyphics that I've ever seen in my life.
Could there really be mysterious structures buried at the South Pole?
Just So the way I look at it is, I feel like for people to be covering their faces and doing interviews and remaining anonymous and sharing information, I feel like there's a lot more credibility to that. Not saying that there's not credibility to people who, you know, show their face and, you know, are showing who they are and telling where they got this information from. But I feel like the people that have nothing to gain from it by not sharing their identity and stuff and trying to get fame from it or something are fairly more credible a lot of the time. That being said, I really like the idea of there being like a super advanced civilization in the earth. I don't know why. I guess it doesn't really benefit me at all, but I just like the idea of, I don't know, man. I love sci-fi and I love cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is my favorite fucking aesthetic in the world. I just love the idea of like cybernetic enhancements and neon lit fucking dystopian cities and shit. I know it would be terrible to live in, but just thinking about it from like super advanced civilizations living in the earth and whatnot, it's the coolest conspiracy to me.
145 top secret facilities that you know about.
Well, you know, everyone talks about Area 51. That's an old one. A more state-of-the-art one is actually in the Dugway Proving Grounds, which is in Utah.
I'm going to put a picture up of it right now.
That's a big one in Dugway. It's underground, goes out. It's about 1,300 square miles.
What's in there?
All this stuff. Technologies, the craft, operations. So what happened is that when he got to the site, there was about a 6x6 pod. And they pulled it up on the ship. And it wasn't the whole craft. The whole craft had gone down, but apparently there was some sort of one molded thing. And there were 4, I'm going to use his language, little men that looked like the color of a Sicilian, but 39 inches tall, no hair, and also no external ears, no pinna, flaps, very fine featured. But the reason he contacted me, and this is why this is so funny, you know, I've debriefed over 1,000 men like this. He said, I can't figure out how they got in and out of their uniforms. So they had a one-piece uniform. Now, no zipper and no buttons and no visible way they could get them out of this thing. And he says, how do they put them on?
Hell yeah. Dr. Greer asking the important questions. How the fuck do these aliens get their stupid fucking pajamas on over their stupid big-ass fucking heads? He didn't say it like that, but you know, that's how I heard it. So what part of the country in America, I forget. I know there's like a big less populated areas in a couple states there. Like a big portion of the US is just like nature, like a lot of it. I have to think that a lot of those areas are being used for, you know, government testing and stuff like that, because like the population numbers are just so much smaller. So I think those would be prime areas for these facilities to be built without people seeing them be built and things being tested without them being tested. But based on your knowledge of like underground facilities, where have you heard of them being outside of like this one and like Roswell and a couple other places I know of? I can't think of right now, but I know they're fucking all over the world. So what are some that you know about for sure?
They flipped alphanumerically. I just told you that everything in creation is math. The labia radium, the lips, are the creative instruments. So now, if you're going to take the creative language and the creative instruments and you start to speak English, here's what happens. And by the way, these revelations came out in 1998 with Healing Codes for the Biological Apocalypse. If you're just beginning in this kind of like initiation into reality, and to the truth that shall set you free, you might want to start with Healing Codes for the Biological Apocalypse and then graduate to where we now are, Love, the Real Da Vinci Code. So Dr. Palaio, back in 1996, decided, had a couple visions. He saw numbers and letters on his windshield, and he learned that there's an alphanumeric for every letter, just like in Gematria. For every letter, there's a number, an alphanumeric relationship. And that he took the words, the English language, like you see here, A to Z, 1 to 26. So it's 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 8. You see that? Now, you take the words faith, trust, and God. Oh, isn't that interesting? They're all 8s. The infinity sign. Well, so then what you do is you take the number 8. And in the Bible, the Creator never adds, never subtracts, always multiplies. This acceleration of your divine inspiration and your spiritual evolution is exponentially accelerating because it's multiplying. And so you take the numbers 8 and do the multiples of 8. 1 times 8 equals 8. 2 times 8 equals 16, well, 1 plus 6 is 7. 3 times 8 equals 24, but 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 times 8 equals 32, where 3 plus 2 is 5. You see the countdown pattern, don't you? 8765432198654321965. See it? Which is the what? The English alphabet backwards. So the sacred languages of Hebrew, ancient Aramaic, Babylonian, and Sanskrit were sacred. They were considered sacred languages. Why? Because when you spoke them, the resonant energy had an immediate divine intercommunication, communion, and a divine interpersonal connection. You had this heartfelt, loving understanding. So now you take, interesting thing, you take the English alphabet backwards, add it to the English alphabet forwards. 8 plus 1 is 9, 7 plus 2 is 9, 6 plus 3 is 9, 5 plus 4 is 9. It's always 9. What does that tell you? It means that there's a perfection in the English language.
So I am a writer. I am a copywriter. That is my day job. I am also a published author. I've written 2 books. So I can write shit all day. Let's talk about fucking letters, words. I'm fucking with it, man. You start fucking talking about math and numbers, I just fucking melt. My brain melts. And I just go into a comatose state until you stop talking. So I didn't really understand much of that video because I'm fucking number illiterate. But with him saying, talking about the speaking English backwards, was that a good thing or a bad thing? Because from what I understand, speaking words backwards was always bad. That's like how you summon the devil and shit. You say words backwards, backward masking, speaking backwards, you know, that's evil shit, right? So what was the correlation here? What did I miss? What was the correlation between the English language being perfected language, I guess, as opposed to like Aramaic and Sanskrit and all those ancient and forgotten languages? Because if those were the end all be all, like the best languages for whatever reason, the sacred languages, maybe that's why in those old stories in the Bible and whatnot, you hear them always, you know, interacting with God more and actually talking, having a conversation with God, and, you know, all these stories of angels and God and talking to them and testing them and stuff. Maybe their connection with the gods and, you know, the supernatural spiritual world were stronger because of the languages they were speaking, and maybe we have lost that nowadays in the languages we speak, outside of apparently speaking English backwards and summoning demons and shit. I don't know. I feel like I just didn't understand that video at all, but I've also been recording these videos all day. So maybe I just need to take a fucking break. But let me know what you think. What was your understanding of that video? Let me know, because I missed something, and I normally feel like I do a pretty good job of understanding these topics, but I'm just lost on this one. I need some coffee. Where's my coffee? But that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time here today, you need to go back and watch yesterday's video, watch the other videos. Got a lot of cool shit that came out recently. A lot of really cool videos that you're going to want to see if you enjoyed this one. Or even if you fucking hated this video and you watched the whole thing, cool. I appreciate you sticking around and watching it. You might like the other videos more, so you can click up here. Yeah, up. It should be right up there. Click on something that's up there, and there will be more videos. If you did like what you saw, consider liking, subscribing, you know, joining the Discord, checking out the merchandise, checking out my SoundCloud, whatever you want to do. All the links to everything are down in the video description. And thank you, special thank you to my Lucid crew, all of my donators, all the people that have bought my merch, all the people who have, you know, are my monthly members, everybody in the Discord sending me videos to watch and react to and learn from, and also my moderators who help me keep these things going smoothly. Thank you all so much. I appreciate the fuck out of you. Until next time, peace.